That was Laverne Cox at the Grammys, shining a spotlight on transgender teen activist Gavin Grimm, whose lawsuit over bathroom rights just became a battle that could impact every transgender American. Thanks to Trump's reversal of bathroom directives. So, please welcome Gavin Grimm. Hey.
Thank you so much for being here. We were just talking at the break, and I told you, you're so brave. Thank you for being here. And what did it mean to you to see Laverne Cox acknowledge you on that platform?
It was absolutely, I just was blown away. I wasn't actually watching, and I hear my mom screaming from downstairs, and I think surely she's just injured herself terribly, but no, she was so happy. And I go down, and we were in tears. We were so touched that she'd taken that time and in that platform to uplift the stories of transgender youth.
Wow. So you were a sophomore in high school when you decided to sue the Gloucester County School Board in Virginia for discrimination. What went into that decision?
Well, for me, it was a thought process that said this is not right and this can't continue. So what steps can I take to make sure that I don't have to spend my high school career being separated away from my peers? Unfortunately, that seems like it's going to be happening anyway. But at this point, we're just really looking to doing whatever we can for people that come after me.
How were you separated?
I'm not able to use the same restrooms as my peers. My options are a unisex, single-stall restroom that only I'm required to use, and that's about it, is for my options.
And we have Laverne Cox on the phone from LA. Laverne, this is Sarah Haynes. Just want to say, many people found out about Gavin's story because of your Grammy speech. Why was it important for you to bring attention to Gavin's story?
Hi, I want to say, first of all, hello, everyone. I'm so sorry I can't be there. I'm so proud of you, Gavin. Every time I hear you speak, it's just so inspiring. And that's really the reason, because this young man is so inspiring, and he's going to the Supreme Court, and this is the very first time the Supreme Court is hearing a case for transgender rights, and I was frustrated that not enough people were talking about this case. And I was so heartened when I saw that Gavin was, hashtag Stand With Gavin was trending Grammy night, and that a lot of people know more about his story now, and so this young man can come forward with all of his courage and brilliance and assert his humanity, because ultimately this is about the humanity of trans young people.
Well, Laverne, you and Gavin, you met in person shortly after the Grammys, and what advice did you give him on becoming a prominent face of the fight for transgender rights?
What I said to Gavin, I sent him a video a few months ago when we found out he was going to the Supreme Court, is that often in our country's history, it is a person who is not intended to be a symbol or to be famous, who has just stood up for what is right, who has been chosen. And I believe that Gavin is that person. This is not the first time that trans youth have had to fight to have the same access that other kids have had. Coy Mathis before Gavin in Colorado, Nicole Maines in Maine, Jazz Jennings in Florida. So I thought that, why Gavin? And I think Gavin has been chosen because Gavin is the person who can handle it. He is so unbelievably articulate and composed, and he's so inspiring. And at the end of the day, we have to remember that bathroom access really is not about bathrooms. Our opponents know that all the things I heard earlier someone say, what if someone, pretends to be trans so they can have access to a girl's bathroom? That doesn't happen. In the hundreds of cities all over the country where we have public accommodations, protections for trans people, no one poses as trans so they can have access to a women's bathroom so they can assault women. That doesn't happen. And our opponents know that. So they're trying to make sure that these bathroom laws are about whether trans people have the right to exist in public space. That is what this is about. It is not a states' rights issue. It is a civil rights issue.
Exactly. And this question is for both Gavin and Laverne. You both know that the Trump administration withdrew President Obama's guidance, which provided federal protections for transgender students in our schools. What worries you both about the federal government returning that power to the states? Gavin, let me start with you.
Well, often when you leave decisions of civil rights up to states, it happens that for a very, very long time, people don't have civil rights.
Right. Yeah, we've seen that. Yeah. We've seen that. Do you agree, Laverne?
I do agree. I said earlier this isn't a states' rights issue, this is a civil rights issue. And I think it sends a message to trans youth that they are less than. When Loretta Lynch stood up at that press conference last year and said that we want to protect trans people going forward and do everything that we can, that I was in tears. It felt so incredible to me to see our federal government stand with and by trans people. And that sent a message to me that my life mattered, that the lives of my trans siblings mattered. And the revoking of this order sends the message that our lives don't matter, that we are second-class citizens and that we should be treated differently and stigmatized and shamed. And we should note that 77% of trans students experience harassment or bullying in schools, and over 50% of trans youth attempt suicide. 50% attempt suicide because we live in a world that shames, stigmatizes, and criminalizes us.
Yeah,
You know, the other issue is that, you know, the bottom line really is everyone is supposed to be protected under the law. The law is not saying you but not you, you but not you. We as Americans have the right to be comfortable where we are, go to school, how we go to school. So this fight, what do you need people who maybe don't understand what you're talking about? What's the one thing you can say to them about here's why we're fighting?
Well, I mean, I think what people really need to understand is how traumatic it can be for a student at the age of school. You're already trying really hard to fit in, or at least just not be bullied, and that's a huge problem. And when you already have, or you're facing something like being transgender, which already puts you at greater risk for social stigma and bullying and mental health issues, and then you have a school board set this message that says, you are going to be treated and should be treated differently from all your peers, and you are not allowed to have access to the same public spaces. That sets a huge guideline for how they will be treated by other peers. And no student should ever have to feel like they're unsafe and can't use the bathroom while trying to get an education.
I had read somewhere they're having transgendered youth that are avoiding eating and drinking during the day to avoid going to the bathroom. But do we have time for one more? We're okay.
Yeah. Okay.
The conversation continues.
Oh, I could talk to you just forever.
Yeah.
So brave.
Except today. Except right now, because we have to go. But Gavin, we want to say to you, keep us posted with everything that's going on, because Laverne, there might not have been a wide knowledge of this before, but you shouting out, you coming on to here, us helping get this information out so everybody understands that if it's one of us, it's all of us.
Yes.
You know, if they can do it to one, they can do it to all. Thank you for coming. Laverne, thank you for coming back. Don't forget to catch Laverne in Doubt, airing Wednesdays. We'll be right back.